smoking, but when they hear this song, they'll learn there's more to toking. 25,000 different things we can make from it, and if we give it a chance, we'll save the blinking planet. Food, fuel and medicine, necessities for life, a benefit to all of us, our wonder and delight. Within this smelly weed, there's more than meets the eye, so much, much more than smoking, it can cleanse our dirty skies. Cannabis, cannabis, we'll save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis is a very useful weed. Cannabis, cannabis, we'll save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis is very good indeed.
It's Hemp Works. It's time for Hemp on the International Global Radio Fantastic Network station that it is. And tonight my guest is one of my Facebook friends called Jon Marsh, and he runs a really nice Facebook page which I often pop into. Jon, would you like to tell us a little about your Facebook page, please? Nice to have you on board, sir. Been looking forward to meeting you.
How's it going, Steve?
I'm good, thank you. I'm very, very, very well. Very, very, very well.
Well, that's great. I'm doing this from a soccer field out in Somerville, Massachusetts. So if the wind gets a little bit, forgive the ruffle. You know what it's not.
No worries. We've had interviews from all over the place. I think one of my most famous was Sierra Riddle. Bless her, she was in a petrol station on a mobile phone. It was one of the most interesting conversations I'd ever had, and one of the best radio. Yeah, so bless Sierra. It does work, so we bear with it, Jon. Thank you. So, Jon, tell me about your Facebook page, if that's good, because I really like what you do on that.
Well, the Facebook page, Cannabis Oil Success Stories, is something I started back on May 22nd when I had a little, incident on another page, and I decided that, it didn't matter what solvent was used in making the cannabis oil. I was more about success stories.
Yeah.
And so I went and began this page with me and one other person, and 2 days ago we went over 30,000 members in our closed group. So it was quite a milestone in the 2 years that it took to get there. But I just started it to collect some success stories from people. And because I hadn't seen, I'd seen some on some other pages, but I had never, actually met anybody. So I wanted to just get that going and, maybe in the future write a compilation called Cannabis Oil Success Stories Volume 1 through a million, because I expect to see millions of people healed before my time. So that's kind of the gist of the group, was just get it going. But now it's turned, there's people from all over the world. Some of our members have made documentaries, written books. Sierra, I believe, might be a member, and we're just a big presence now as compared to just a couple people talking about success and making oil. And I've never made oil. I don't grow. I'm just an old Marine that feels freedom for everybody, and that's what I fight for. And starting that group was the start of it, and it's been awesome. People have been pulled out of their deathbed.
From the sort of the other view from the fence, if you like, I'll tell you why I like it. Obviously, as we know, there's thousands of Facebook pages out there now and websites all, singing the praise and doing a good job. The one that I liked about yours, it was really quite unique in the sense that it was really run by the people that visit the page, and there was a lot of people on there looking for information for the first time. And I found that they were getting the information coming to them from people that were either in treatment or had gone through treatment. And I've sort of followed some of the newbies, if you like. It's a very frightening time in your life when you're ill or one of your loved ones is ill, and you're looking at all this info, and my God, some of it, it's just staggering. It's just and the quality of the science nowadays. I put my hands up. I don't even understand half of what I'm reading at the moment because it's too technical. Yeah, but yours is a really sort of homey, friendly. If I was again looking and I didn't know much, your site would be one that I always recommend to people. Go on to Jon's site Go on there and you will meet some really like-minded people. And all you seem to do is you just keep it nice and tidy and monitor it, and you let the discussions go quite freely, which I really enjoy. And then sometimes there's a bit of a mistake made, and you sort of jump in and just tidy the mistake up and say, well, it's not quite like that. So for me, it is one of the best Facebook pages out there if you're looking for information and a bit of help about this wonderful cannabis medicine. Yeah.
We try to. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. We try to just, I expect when people come, they either don't know anything and that we're their last, they Google cannabis oil because they heard about it, but nobody comes there primary. Most of the people that are coming to the group are late stage, fretting that they're trying to hide from their family. They ask if I post something, will it come across on my page? People are really freaked out to take this alternative step, which is actually a primary a weapon against, because we have the endocannabinoid system, and most people don't even know what it is. So the first thing I try to do is just, even when I'm talking to police officers or, school teachers or churchgoers, not that I'm not a churchgoer, but I'm not, but I let them know that they and everyone around us has been born with an endocannabinoid system, and if you don't use it, it's probably deficient. You're just deficient in cannabinoids. When I first, in 1993, I read about the discovery of the endocannabinoid system in a book. Miles Herkenham and his crew down at the new National Institute for Mental Health discovered it, and it was printed up in a magazine. So I actually found him and called him, and because I had always known there had to be a receptor network, and I called him and told him that it was great that they found it, and then I told him why I thought Alzheimer's might be onset, and I told him it was like, in my eyes, if you have a garden and you never water it and never fertilize it for 60 years, that thing is probably void of any possible benefit. It's just an unfertile ground. But as soon as you add water and some nutrients to this thing, it's just going to blossom. And that's how I described to him how a 60-year-old person who has never tried cannabinoids, once they get them, they're going to blossom and come out of it. And that was my theory when I was 25 years old. I'm 46 now, so that was a great thing to get to talk to that man, and he's still working down there. And it was just the endocannabinoid system education. I think is something that everybody should learn since it's in breast milk and we're breastfed right from the get go. We are naturally given the cannabinoids, and the government, mainly propagated by the United States and the DEA and the big pharmas, if you will. People like to blame all the corporations, but somebody is trying to keep this plant from the people, and there's over 1,000 patents on cannabis. So, it's no longer there is no medical use. You know from seeing the results in that group that people are being healed every day, and people are dying every day too. But those are usually the people that find us last, at the last bit of hope.
Yeah, I mean, I can't agree with that statement. No medical use, because I was end-stage liver cancer, so I don't need Dr. Melameda or Gonzalez and Sanchez and all the other fantastic researchers and doctors to tell me that it's a medicine. I know that, but I'm really glad that they have shown it, because it gives it a lot of credence that governments must start listening to us. And as you say, that endocannabinoid system, you walk into your doctors and say, excuse me, tell me about my endocannabinoid system, please. The chances are they will just sit there and look at you blank. If anything, the response will be endocrine system. And when you try to explain them the largest system in your body, and they don't know nothing about it, and they're supposed to be a doctor, well, it's time up, isn't it?
Well, when I explaining endocannabinoid system exactly what it is.
Yeah. When a doctor doesn't know that your largest system in your body is your endocannabinoid system, that doctor. Yeah,
people will look at you like you're just talking gibberish, like you're Charlie Brown's teacher, like wah 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 wah, and so I just tell them, it's in your hippocampus, your hypothalamus, and it's a receptor network that It's specifically there to capture cannabinoids out of your system and process them through whatever amazing, molecular stuff that's going on in our bodies related to the cannabinoid system. And it's just a pure driven fact that we've all got it. And I don't doubt that maybe some people, have one that's tweaked. But once the cannabinoids go in the body, the little receptors collect those and take them and do what the body does. And when research is open and everywhere, then we're going to know those answers very shortly. But with the DEA, controlling who gets what and who gets to, I went and got the permit from the DEA to do just that back in 1995, and I was, met with resistance, obviously. But there are forms.
A little bit.
I called the DEA. I was on my way down to Seattle, Washington, and I called and I said, I would like to come in and turn in the forms to be able to grow marijuana. So the receptionist misheard what I said. She thought I said I was coming down to turn in the marijuana farms, not the forms. So when I got there, I was met with two agents and yellow pads of paper, and they sat me down in this office, and they said, "So where's the grow at?" And I said, "Where's the grow at?" I said, "What do you mean?" And they said, "Well, aren't you here to turn in the marijuana farm?" And I said, "No, I'm actually here to get DD 214, or not DD 214, DEA form 224 or 225. One's for hemp and one's for pharmaceutical." And they looked at me kind of like people look at, everybody else when they mention endocannabinoid system. They're just, "What the fuck are you talking about, man?" Oh, sorry.
No,
what are you talking about? And
you can throw the
I just said, "You know what? I'm looking for the forms." And sure enough, 2 weeks later, I was mailed the DEA handbook, which I requested, and I was mailed the forms. And I still have them from 1995, still sitting back in my house. When I was writing a book called Hemp 101 back in 1994, and kind of got thwarted by law enforcement. And I was actually told by a judge that I couldn't advocate the use of legalization of marijuana to anybody. So it kind of freaked me out, being a 26-year-old, 27-year-old kid, and wanting to write something, and then a judge puts a gag order on you that you can't even talk to people about it. So,
yeah, especially when your country is called the United States of America, which has a thing called freedom of speech. I mean, if you was in China or somewhere, you would have half expected it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's just,
yeah.
I don't know. I did this article, or I did an interview for High Times back in 1996, and it was for being Freedom Fighter of the Month back in July of 96. And in the interview, I said, if cannabis isn't legal by the year 2000, I'm going to go to a country that respects my views, and I can, do that. Well, I didn't leave. I could have went to Canada, but I didn't. And I don't know if they would take a former cannabis grower. They don't let people into the country for DUIs. So, but yeah, it was an awakening that I saw just how much they were trying to suppress not only the information but the plan as a whole across the board for hemp farming, which I tried to do in 1996 in Oregon, and for medical cannabis, which I've been trying to get since I read Jack Herer book, The Emperor Wears No Clothes, in 1993. That's about when I picked that book up and read it and realized that the weed I was smoking could make some paper and some blue jeans. Yeah. That was enough for me to get going and say, enough is enough. So I bought a hemp wallet, bought a hemp hat, and I would go to the grocery store and try to get people to, talk about my hat or talk about the wallet I was using to pay and then I would talk as loud as I could, and 15 or 20 people would look around like, "What's he talking about?" Marijuana making into clothes, and that's where I started. That was my infancy, was standing in line at the grocery store talking to people, and now today I get to talk to 30,000 people, every morning.
Well, it's interesting because Jack's book, I'm here because of it, you're there because of it, and Casper's sitting on the main desk because of it. And there's quite a few people around the world that have read Jack's book, and it really has funded. It is the book that changed my life. That is the one. Yeah.
If I hadn't picked that book up,
but that book changed my life.
If I hadn't picked that book up, I probably would have got married, had kids with a picket fence.
And then you might be one of the people on your website looking for the answer. I mean,
yep.
Yeah.
So
and again, anybody that's not read Jack's book, if you want to get up to speed and find out where we're at, honestly, Jack's book, The Emperor Wears No Clothes, is without
Jack's
your
book and Chris Conrad's book as well, Hemp Lifeline to the Future. I had that in my back pocket. I read
Chris's book first and then Jack's book, only because Chris's book arrived before Jack's. So.
Yeah, I actually had Jack sign my book about an hour before he went up on stage at Hempstock in Portland and had his final his heart condition. But he was a great guy.
Yeah.
I read his book and called him the next day, and he was in California. I think it was in 1993, and I called him and talked to him like I'm talking to you, not letting him get in a word. And
with that, John, we got to take a break. I'm going to get a word in. We're going to go for
no problem.
Stay there. Don't move.
Wait. I'm not going to.
Don't move, brother.
You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.
THCF Medical Clinics are the premier physicians clinic in the United States. THCF has offices all across the United States from Hawaii to Michigan. THCF Medical Clinics has helped approximately 150,000 patients obtain their medical marijuana permits to legally possess, grow, and use medical marijuana. If you have chronic pain, multiple sclerosis, or any other neurological degenerative disease, or if you have any gastrointestinal disorders such as GERD, irritable bowel syndrome, or if you have AIDS, cancer, spastic disorders, seizure disorders, or glaucoma, call us at 1-800-723-0188 or visit us online at hemp.org. Again, the number is 1-800-723-0188 and the site is hemp.org.
In need of a ganja vacation? Blaze away.
Don't criticize it.
Hotbox Jamaica. Chill.
Legalize it, yeah.
Relax and burn all day while watching the amazing ocean view. Listen to the birds. Bathe in the mineral waters of the Ganja River. Munch on tasty Jamaican Rasta food. Take a weed farm tour and hold a meditation. Book this amazing vacation for $420. Get the Sativa Special. 7 nights in Sativa dorms with ganja meals and airport transfer. Check us out at hotboxjamaica.com. That's hotboxjamaica.com. Hotbox Jamaica, a higher meditation vacation.
Indigrow is your source for affordable induction grow lighting. First discovered in 1891 by Nikola Tesla, Indigrow lights deliver 11 years of electronic sunlight to your plants. Indigrow lamps require less than half the power of traditional HID lamps. Converting to Indigrow lights means you'll cut down on your power bill with less lighting. Indigrow lamps also use 5 times less mercury than traditional fluorescent or HID lamps, making Indigrow not only energy efficient but environmentally friendly as well. No more switching out lamps between vegetative and flowering stages. As nature intended, your lights get a steady dose of UV light that makes your plants grow healthier and stronger. Indigo products are manufactured in San Diego, California, and come with a written 10-year warranty. What Tesla knew, then growers know now, is that Indigo lighting is the cost-effective addition to your victory garden. To learn more or order now, go to inda-grow.com. That's INDA-GRO.com, or call 877-452-2244 to answer any of your questions. These guys really know lights. Indigo really is your sunlight in a box.
Education and information. See what all the buzz is all about. It's time for hemp. It's time for hemp.
Even Prince Charlie has a high regard for weed. He recommends it to MS sufferers who are in desperate need. It's medicinal, it's pure, and it helps to ease the pain. And if you're feeling down, my friend, it'll pick you up again. Cannabis, cannabis will save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis is a very useful weed. Cannabis, cannabis will save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis is very good indeed.
Welcome back, everybody. We had an interesting break, which I'm not going to go into, but it was fun. So I hope you all enjoyed the advert. Right, John, I live in the UK, and I'm about 150 miles away from a company called GW Pharmaceuticals, which do sort of isolated cannabis compounds. And they're just about to release one for Tourette syndrome called Epidex, I believe it is pronounced. And I've seen their share prices shoot up this morning by about another $10, and they're trading at $88 a share at the moment on what is an isolate of cannabis. What's your thoughts on these pharmaceutical companies or these isolates that are coming in from the plant? Do you have any views on that?
Well, yeah, there's I guess we could start with the CBD only, you know, that kind of push.
Yeah,
and you've got the families that are pushing for CBD only because, you know, their kids specifically have seizures. There's families who are creating or at least propagating these super strains of CBD, you know, that they claim will only benefit these kids. So they're wanting to isolate CBD from this plant that it has either been created for us or naturally just sprung up on 98% of the land above water. And they're trying to take the one compound that they say doesn't get you psychoactively, stimulated, I suppose. And
good,
what we're finding out is CBD only medications aren't, well, they're not going to cure cancer. They're not going to, they're not going to treat cancer. I don't want to use that word cure because cure can get you in a lot of trouble in every country that I know of.
I can use it, John, because it cured me, so I'll use the word for you. It cures cancer, okay?
There you go.
Yeah.
So, but CBD only, the likelihood of that curing someone's cancer by itself, I would say is pretty much nil to, you know, slim to none. Slim's no longer here. So there's not much of a chance you're going to take one of these, I'll even use the names, RSHO, New Cure.
Use the names. That's what they're promoting themselves.
You know, none of these products are gonna treat somebody's cancer. That's just the bottom line. So you've got these people going around the United States, and they've got, you know, emails going back and forth to each other with a strategy on how to convince these legislators to make these laws that they'll be like, you can have 1% THC and you can have up to 20% CBD, and you got to fall in that range, and it happens to be the same range that their plants produce.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all about full spectrum. Oh my gosh, here goes the feeding strain. I'll try to get away from that. So basically, we're all about using alcohol to extract all of the parts of that plant. You're going to get the chlorophyll and you're going to get some waxes if you let these soak a little longer. But, you know, if you eat a salad, you're going to get chlorophyll. If you eat, you know, your greens and your veggies, you're going to get all kinds of plant goodness. So
personally, by the way, John, I look at chlorophyll. That's liquid sunshine in my book.
It's quite if you look up if you were to isolate chlorophyll from the plant, which they sell chlorophyll, they sell it. So why would you pay for an extract of chlorophyll if it was good for you when you can just get it in your all-purpose medicine? That is what this is. It is an all-purpose extract that is safely made with various, modes of operandi, but what we're finding, alcohol's everywhere. And there's certain countries where they say, well, this solvent is safe in our country. Or, this is safer than American so-and-so. And that's great. But like in my group, there's 200 plus countries in the world. And there's a person from almost every country. So finding these magic solvents that come from Canada or, whatever country isn't feasible to everybody. So like in the group, I say, let's just stick to something that everybody can use and make in their kitchen.
Yeah.
And it will fully extract, as all botanical assays have been since the early 1800s, with alcohol. And there will be no confusion. There'll be no deaths, because there is a guy up in Eugene, Oregon, and he has a company called Genesis Farms. I don't even know if it's a company. He's on Facebook. It's PHARMS, I believe. And this guy's making with ISO, but he's like boiling it and concentrating the toxins and still making more medicine with that refined isopropyl. I'm not saying he's killed anybody, but I'm saying that there's some suspect deaths from people using his oil. And it happens to be what Ronnie Smith got a hold of. And we all know Ronnie's dead. And it's probably from his leukemia, but, he was using this. He tasted this isopropyl alcohol oil one night, and he keeled over on the floor. He ended up in the hospital. They said it was a heart attack, and he's dead 2 weeks later. Probably leukemia, but you know what? It's just not safe to be promoting certain solvents to extract something out of a plant. So I know everybody has their 2 cents on it. But
I've got to cut you there because we're going to need to run into a next break. We're 2 minutes overrun. I just wanted to get the overrun on that because that's good content. So we take the next break and then we can pick up back on that when we come back.
Anything.
Mr. Casper, you can press the button.
You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.
If you are in the Portland, Oregon area and are an OMMP card holder, then come down to Nikki's Diggity Dank Market, Portland, Oregon's first and only weekly OMMP market, presented by the Alternative Wellness Center, located at 5241 Southeast 72nd Avenue, 2 blocks south of Foster Boulevard, close to public transportation, held every Sunday 10 a.m. till 7 p.m., connecting quality vendors with patients. Nikki's Diggity Dank Market also has a weekly raffle with products from every vendor. So come down to Nikki's Diggity Dank Market and have fun while connecting with quality vendors and getting great natural medicine. If you are a vendor and want a chance to connect with OMMP patients, you can check out their Facebook page at facebook.com/Alternative Wellness Center or call 971-888-4392. Be sure to register early because space is limited. Nikki's Diggity Dank Market.
In need of a ganja vacation? Blaze away.
Don't criticize it.
Hotbox Jamaica. Chill.
Legalize it, yeah.
Relax. And burn all day while watching the amazing ocean view. Listen to the birds. Bathe in the mineral waters of the Ganja River. Munch on tasty Jamaican Rasta food. Take a weed farm tour and hold a meditation. Book this amazing vacation for $420. Get the Sativa Special, 7 nights in Sativa dorms with ganja meals and airport transfer. Check us out at hotboxjamaica.com. That's hotboxjamaica.com. Hotbox Jamaica, a higher meditation vacation.
Indigrow is your source for affordable induction grow lighting. First discovered in 1891 by Nikola Tesla, Indigrow lights deliver 11 years of electronic sunlight to your plants. Indigrow lamps require less than half the power of traditional HID lamps. Converting to Indigrow lights means you'll cut down on your power bill with less lighting. Indigrow lamps also use 5 times less mercury than traditional fluorescent or HID lamps, making Indigrow not only energy efficient but environmentally friendly as well. No more switching out lamps between vegetative and flowering stages. As nature intended, your lights get a steady dose of UV light. That makes your plants grow healthier and stronger. Indigrow products are manufactured in San Diego, California, and come with a written 10-year warranty. What Tesla knew, then growers know now, is that Indigrow lighting is the cost-effective addition to your victory garden. To learn more or order now, go to inda-grow.com. That's INDA-GRO.com, or call 877-452-2244 to answer any of your questions. These guys really know lights. Indigrow really is your sunlight in a box.
Free? Did you say free? Free hemp? Free hemp? Free hemp video and audio? Free downloads of all the top artists, all the pot artists on planet Earth. Interviews with all the people making the movement, making the hemp movement. It's time for hemp. That's right, world. It's time for hemp. That's right, world. It's time for hemp.
Oh, we're all back now. Lovely. Are we back? Are we back? Are we back? I'm from the Hill in Hastings, and I've got my show's Hemp Works, and we're on Time for Hemp. And a big shout out going out to my favourite charity, Hemp Works Charity UK.org. They're a fantastic bunch of people keeping up the information and spreading the love. How about yourself, John? Have you got any good shout outs you want to do? Obviously, we want to know about where your website is, so I want to know how people can contact you.
Well, you've mentioned Cannabis Oil Success Stories on Facebook, and then I have the CannabisConsultant.com, and my goal there was to be like the LinkedIn of the cannabis community and link up every, you guys talk about cannabis, you're cannabis consultants, the guy that tells somebody that cannabis can make into rope. Well, he's a consultant. Anybody is a consultant, and that is why I started the Cannabis Consultants, was to corral everybody. And I also started the Hemp Consultants back in 1996. It was actually 94, but officially it was 96, and I had the website to promote my book that I was writing, Hemp 101, before the government kind of came in and told me to cease and desist. So I did at the time, and those would be the two. And if I get to plug something, I'm going to be working with 2 collectives in Southern California. One is King's Harvest, and they work with wounded warriors down around Camp Pendleton, and they are doing some amazing stuff. They're doing condition-specific oils from, someone calls up and says, I have adenocarcinoma of the lungs. They have an oil for that. And also Miriam's Hope, miriamshope.org, is a member who came. She was actually told by one of the more famous groups to go ask her questions elsewhere because she was concerned about, whether she should use alcohol or not. And so she came in, and her mother's stage 4 inoperable brain tumor is actually shrinking. And she joined us over a year ago, and now, they have a collective that's serving Southern California people, over 100 people, and it's just awesome. So those are my two plugs for now. And we did have somebody write a book called Taking Control about her husband being told he had to remove his bladder, or he was, not going to be in good shape, and they'd have to rebuild his intestines. And she said, no, sir. And together they beat bladder cancer, along with a fellow named Jack Kungle. But her book, Taking Control, that is a great read. And I've sent a copy off to Sanjay Gupta, and I don't know if it made it into his eyeball viewing yet, but I hope it does. And that's my plugs, at least for now.
At least with Dr. Sanjay Gupta now, he is like reading the research, isn't he? Well, as before, he would never read any of it, so bless him for that. And actually, I think he done a remarkable job when he came out and done the Weed Wine, the first show. I'm not too sure about the second one. I think that was a big plug for GW Pharmaceuticals. But hey ho, the main thing is he done it, and a lot of people became informed about it. Right, John, you're on the front line, so you're pretty much getting good news stories a lot, aren't you? I mean, this is what I'm seeing from my perspective here in England, that I'm getting so many success stories coming through from my own island and from abroad, that our numbers now are really strong, aren't they, of how many people really can put their hand up and say, cannabis cured me, or cannabis has helped me, or cannabis has fixed this for me. I benefited from cannabis. It's remarkable, isn't it, when you sit down and read some of these stories that people, that they've travelled through and how they got to get to the medicine. Have you got any idea of how many hits per day or month you get now, John, compared to, say, maybe...
How many success stories?
Well, yeah, I mean, most of them are, yeah, go for it, yeah, success, and the non-success ones.
I would say every day someone comes in and gives an update. I mean, I know that there's 30,000 members listed in the group. I guarantee there aren't 30,000 that get the posts every day. No. But I don't doubt 15,000 people. I bet half the people have all their notifications on. And sure, every day someone does come in, and I'll make up a meme and send it out and share it with the world. And it gets, I made one a couple days ago. It got shared 25 times just from my page. And even the success stories that some people wouldn't call it success because the patient ends up passing away. But it's usually someone who came and couldn't find any help with anything from any alternative. And then I'll give you an example. There was someone in the group, and his wife, before Christmas, was told she wasn't going to make it probably to Christmas. Yeah. And she was able to get oil, and he was doing all the communication between us. He was at her bedside telling her what I was typing. Well, one day she had enough energy and enthusiasm to actually get up and type on her Facebook. So she contacted me, and it was right before Christmas. And then right before the Super Bowl, I made a post that I wanted to go to the Super Bowl. She knew it. She was in Connecticut, and until she made it all the way to the kickoff, because she knew I was there.
Yeah.
And then she started to fade, and I think she passed away the next day. But she went two months longer than they told her she would. And I guarantee that everybody in their end of life that is taking a chemo versus this oil, they are going to pass into the next realm in much less pain, in a much better mood, and they can accept the fact that, this did help them, and it's sad that they didn't find it earlier, and then they fade off and pass away. And it just sucks that it is being controlled by certain dudes in ties, and it's slowly going, but they're trying to monopolize and set up their system when it should just be free for all. Do what you want. Don't give it to kids. And what we're finding out, it is okay to give it to kids because it just is. So I can't even remember what the hell the original question was, but
about this end stage and how the success story. I just like to say as well that in my experience, I've lost about 3 clients, if you like, that were very, very end stage, and a point of where I was going to give up because I thought maybe it doesn't work for everybody and I don't really want to be involved in this. But all the parents or the family of those deceased people that passed over all sent me really nice emails saying, look, if we had it all over again, we would do that because the last part of their life was just so much more acceptable. And we do live and we do die. You know, not everybody's going to get cured.
Right.
This stuff does give you a decent shot at a cure. And if it doesn't give you a decent shot, it will at least pass you over in a much nicer way. And believe you me, I know what the chemo death's like because I was 48 hours away from chemo death. Yeah, and cannabis.
Thank God you aren't.
Yeah, thank God I'm not. But again, I'd just like to confer that not everybody's going to get cured, as you said, and those families that look on all still think it was a very worthwhile thing doing. It's just a shame that we didn't have enough oil or enough information or get it to them sooner. Who knows? We're only doing our best, aren't we? We're not the big people in charge of who lives.
Yeah, one of the best success stories is Stan Rutner. I believe that's Stan's last name. His daughter has United Patients Group, and they just did with Patients Out of Time, they just did the seminar up in Portland a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago.
Yeah.
They put that together with the Cannabis Clinicians Society, and it went over really well. But her father was supposed to be dead in 2 weeks, and now he's up advocating for senior citizen access to this medication, and it's just awesome.
It's awesome.
But he is a great success story. So is Michelle Aldridge. She was, stage 3 lung cancer, and she took the oil from one of the oldest, if not the oldest, collective in the United States, and that's Wham, out of Santa Cruz. So she was another one who probably wasn't supposed to be around too long, and I think her friends were shocked when she walked in to see them one day, because I don't think they thought she was around. And she's been in it 40 years. Her and her husband been doing activism for 40 years, and there's just some very awesome success stories. I know 2 kids who are being treated right now of DIPG. The parents had to root their whole families up out of Georgia and move to Colorado and sell all their stuff just so their kid could eat some oil every day. And it's, it just, I don't know, I can't think about that kind of stuff because it gets my Marine Corps blood kind of flowing, and I want to,
and so should John
bring the neck of a politician.
I deal quite closely with the Canna mums, Sierra and Renee and the other ones, and the stories are just, whenever they come on air, I end up bawling. I end up crying my eyes out because it's just incredible stories and incredible bullshit politics that they're having to face when they're in a life and death situation with their kids. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
Right.
Yeah.
They're amazing stories, but they're stories that, they shouldn't even be where they're at. They should be able to go down to the fucking pharmacy and get a bottle of tincture for their kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, I can't imagine being a politician and sitting in my fucking desk with my teak wood $100,000 floor and denying that this plant actually works. When the kids, rub some oil on a kid who's having a seizure, and that kid will stop seizing.
Wow. Hey, John, right. There was one yesterday. Maybe you know her name, or maybe Casper knows her name. It was a young girl that was taken away from her family. She spent 13 months under the child protection thing, and apparently,
yes, that's right here. That's right here in Boston.
Right.
I'm 5 miles from where they were holding her.
Yeah, do you know her name? I'd like to give a big shout out to them because they've been through a year of hell. Just to make sure everybody knows the story. The daughter was taken away because they were giving cannabis oil to her, and then they put her in a home where they didn't give her cat, and the daughter was in a terrible mess. And yesterday, a judge finally came to his senses and signed the paperwork so the daughter can go back to the loving family, and I believe she will then get her cannabinoid medicine that makes her better. But it took me over a year of fighting for that. Is that correct, John?
I'm going to contact that parent, which they're in Connecticut. They have access to a dispensary and legal cannabis. Yeah. I think they're from Connecticut. I'm almost positive. Here or Rhode Island. But, yeah, Boston held this girl hostage for 13 months, claiming the parents had I don't know, Asperger's syndrome or something, that they wanted to actually harm their daughter, the mother did, and apparently that is not how it turned out, because I think it's been 13 months they haven't had her, and now they have her back. And I just saw that story yesterday, and I was so much going on, I didn't have time to contact them, but, you know, that's what I do. If I see somebody in need, I contact them and let them know that, you know, they're in a medical state, and if they're not, that if they go to Portland, Oregon, they can go. And Oregon, when I left Oregon, the law was set up that where anybody who needed cannabis could fly in and get a card, become a member of the Oregon Medical Marijuana Program, and they would have a card. It doesn't matter if you're from Florida or New Jersey, Kentucky, even Idaho. I mean, is redneck against this?
Idaho. I love the way you put that.
Well, yeah, as redneck as they are against this medicine, you know, it's you can still leave Idaho for the weekend, and well, probably not on the weekend because you can't get a card. But if you went there for a few days, you could get your card, and you are a legal cannabis consuming patient in the United States. And you know, you got to do what you got to do. I suggest people do whatever it takes to live, because following an unjust law and ending up dead is no way to live. You're not going to. You know, up here in New Hampshire, the motto is live free or die. And that's just not how it is, because I'll go real quick. The governor of New Hampshire, Maggie Hassan, and then there's Kelly Ayotte, who is the federal senator, and gosh, her last name is Sheehan or Shaheen. They vowed to the people of New Hampshire that by the year 2020 they are going to eliminate breast cancer. And I read this, so I made appointments with the two senators, and I went to meet them, and I met their representatives, and they have no clue how they're going to eliminate it by 2020. They just made the vow that they were going to. So my point was to go up there and say, the people have already voted in New Hampshire. They want this. It's already on the books. You guys are dragging your feet, and every person that dies in New Hampshire between now and fucking then is on your guys' hands. And it actually, after I left, there is maybe it was right before, but there's a representative out in Seekonk or Seabass or whatever. She died at 43 years old of a cancer that we're treating every month in this group. Her husband's also a state rep, and she was 43. He's 39, and you know, so I'm trying to contact him to where we can do a medical bill in his wife's honor. But basically, Maggie Hassan, the governor of New Hampshire, did not allow this woman to have cannabis, and she died on Maggie's watch. So if I was in New Hampshire, I would not vote for Maggie Hassan if she gave me $500 and everybody else in New Hampshire $500.
Well, she's a murderer.
It's just pathetic that she allowed that to happen when the people of a state whose motto is live free or die are told to fucking die instead of living free. I think she needs to go to maybe New York and try to run for something.
Well, wherever she goes, she's not welcome because she's signing people's death warrants.
Her political career is going to be shot if I can help it. Yeah, it's just sad. On her watch, on her watch, women are dying of breast cancer. This woman died of breast cancer, and they have pledged to eliminate it by 2020. Well, I'll eliminate it by 2015. Maybe I should go fucking run for governor in New Hampshire, but I don't like the state. It's too small and cold and humid. I'm going back to Cali. Going back to Cali.
Sell the state, John. Sell it. Become governor and sell it.
Yeah, that's right. We need a new governor. Yeah. We need a new governor up here in New Hampshire.
I think we all need some new leaders. Actually, it's not just governors. Because we're in the same situation in the UK. Oh my God, same situation. They give me three choices in my own country. I can either leave, I can either die, or I can be illegal. Take your pick. Isn't it?
So where are we at? Did I totally go off track with CBD talk?
No, man, it was great. No, it was fantastic. So yeah, we was doing the isolates, and look, again, I for one, and it sounds like from where you're coming from as well, it's full plant extract. And really, it's being able to grow this medicine wherever you deem it to see you want to, because it's the ecosystem. It's a plant. Like, all this shenanigans about controlling it and doing this with it and wanting that with it, and you can have it with CBD in it and mustard seed oil, but you can't. It's just rubbish. It's one plant for all people all around the world at one time. Yeah, and if you want to get it from a pharmaceutical company, so be it. If you want to get it from your local oil maker, so be it. But on the other hand, if you want to grow your own medicine and use it, that's your choice too. Yeah?
That's right. I think everyone should be able to grow it, but then there's the people that, like the lawyers and the doctors, there's people that don't want to grow it. They want to be able to go get it like they can any other prescription, you know?
Yeah.
If some dude doesn't want to, you know, he got 3 kids, and he doesn't want to grow weed. No. He just wants to take it.
Yeah, he might not have time, he might not have the space. And like for me, I travel around a lot. So when you're growing, you've got to be at home. When I don't like to be at home all the time. So I want to go.
Right, it's like having a pet. It's like having a pet. You can't leave your pet.
I can't leave my patch. I'm stuck.
Pet project, yeah. It's a
cannabis-friendly country. Yeah.
Well, we're getting there because, you know, we all know the U.S. government has a patent for the
only one.
The anti.
The UK have got 4 and the Chinese have got 280.
The Chinese have over 600.
Oh, 600 now, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, 600. I have them listed on one of my websites. China has over 600. We have it. CBD was patented December 8th, 1942, the day after Pearl Harbor was bombed. And I don't doubt that somebody knew this amazing medicine was being patented, and to get rid of the attention, Blood Japan just float right in on me. Well, I'm not going to get into that, but there have been some big incidents. You know, Henry Ford designs a car made partially out of hemp, and it'll run on hemp fuel, and that's in the 1930s. And you know, here comes World War. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's sad, but back to medicine. CBD only is bullshit. It's not going to heal anybody. And these families, like they're named after one of the tools, one of the power tools. They don't do things right. They're not here to help people do things right. You know, Stanley, we want to help you do things right. They're not helping anybody do things right. They're helping themselves. You know, I call them shillionaires because people are taking advantage and trying to get rich and establish themselves in this business by blocking everybody else. So the little families that think they're doing the greater good, they're not. Jesus would come down and flip over their tables and just say, "What the fuck are you doing?" And that is not how, compassionate people act. If full spectrum is the way to go, not one of those people is an expert. Not one politician even knew 2 years ago what the fucking endocannabinoid was.
No.
Now they're all experts to where they can write a law that says, well, you can only have this amount of this and this amount of this, and you can only treat people who are having seizures. That is about as fucked up conspiracy as anybody could even imagine. It's unexplainable how non-experts can write up these laws that are preventing. They wheel in a bunch of kids who have seizures, and they get the compassion. But what about the cancer kids? They're left out in the cold.
Exactly.
I know there's more kids with seizures
than all the other people. It's just a ridiculous law. And again, it's a lottery then, isn't it? You will get treated by the disease and what state you live in. That's a lottery. I don't want my healthcare to be a lottery.
Yeah, it's a luxury to not only in the state you live in, but the disease that you have. I mean, what happens when one of these kids that has seizures actually develops cancer? Then what? Sorry, you can use this plant for your seizuring, but you can't use it to treat your cancer, even though there's no difference.
I wonder I really don't wish this on anybody, but we're going to have a case eventually of an epileptic cancer victim, aren't we? So what we're going to do, give them the treatment for the epilepsy, but not the cancer. I mean, that's how ridiculous it's going to be, isn't it? We can
Right,
save you
so
from
they're
epilepsy,
basically-
but you're gonna die from chemo from the cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
just how ludicrous
it's just
it is.
politics as usual. Politics as usual is what I see it. And, you know, since I was a kid, I have always fought for the underdog, and, you know, I'm just very aggressive about something that I believe in, and this is one of them. And I'm sure you've seen me at my quote worst when, you know, things go awry and in groups, you know, where certain debates get going. I can be a stickler, but I'm sticking to my guns.
As I said previously, John, I've always found that the way that you monitor your group is very fair. And
Oh, hold on, I got a huge
tidy
check going off my head.
Yeah, you just tidy the board up nice. You put the facts. So, and anybody that doesn't want to listen to the facts, well, they're not in the same ball game as us, because you just print the facts.
Right. If you're not open-minded, you know, we're going to have a tough discussion.
Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't bring my tri-bar to open up closed minds, and those kind of people, they can go believe what they want. They can, you know, walk down and pray that something good is going to happen. But if you don't walk down and pray before you walk into the cannabis store, odds are your cancer's not going to get better.
You know it.
So it's just
so where are you
here.
going, John? Right, what's your future? We've got to wrap it down a little bit now. We've got a couple of minutes left. What's your future plans, John? Where are you going?
Well,
what's your next
I'll tell you what. Since 1993, I've pretty much given myself to the cannabis community, whether it's just through, you know, advocacy or, like I said, standing in the foreground or the background. You know, little mentions of stuff. But my future is going to be in California. And I plan on setting up a delivery system that when it is legal to do so. And people that are indigent will not have to pay. People that cannot move will be delivered to. And I'm going to be consulting with King Harvest, with Miriam's Hope, and we're going to make sure that if you got legal status in California, that you will get quality medications, and that's all I want to do. I've been doing this for 20 years for free, and now I'm getting my consultant business going, and you're more than welcome to be one, Steve, because you and Casper and anybody who mentions the word cannabis in a positive light is consulting in that business, and the Cannabis Consultants wants everybody. That's my goal, to be the LinkedIn of cannabis and be able to network everywhere. If somebody in a town has a question, they can go find a cannabis consultant somewhere online or in their hometown and get this medicine. And I also have been working on Lyme disease, and I do believe that we have oils that can knock it out of the park. I have a friend I'm treating, and she was not sleeping like 3 to 5 days in a row. She's on this oil now, and she sleeps 4 to 6 hours a night. No anxiety completely gone. And it's a CBD dominant oil, which, you know, isn't only oil. Yeah. It has, 30% CBD and 15% THC, and it's working beautiful, 2-to-1 ratio. So that's my goal, is to, I don't think I'll open up the Jon Marsh Cannabis Company, but I do plan on being vocal and a presence in this movement for the next 20 to 40 years until I check out.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's exactly where I'm at, John. This is my future now. I'm 57. I've been doing it for over 21 years, and I've got no intentions of stopping. We're loud, we're proud, and from my point of view, we want safe and legal access to cannabis worldwide. End of.
Right on. Oh,
John, thank you for being one of our wonderful guests.
Hey, one more thing.
Go there.
Okay, Ricky Lake has a documentary coming out called Weed the People.
Yeah.
And she wants to, Cannabis Oil Success Stories is going to possibly be part of it. So we're going to do a fundraiser to raise money and go for it.
Get her on, and we're ever online, and she can tell us all about the film. Yeah.
All right.
The contact for
Sounds
us.
awesome, Steve.
That's what we're here for. God bless you, John.
All right, buddy. Thanks for having me on, Casper. Go get it, buddy.